Hi everyone, so I have done the normal January thing of cleansing, as in cleansing out some of your clutter and your stash, and that has applied to my makeup as well. And what I've decided to do is just go through everything, get rid of the stuff that I'm not using, that I don't like and that is out of date. Before I throw it all away, I thought I'd talk to you about it so I can tell you why I'm throwing it away, what I liked about it, what I don't like about it, why it's not been used up and expired, all that kind of stuff really. And I actually found a few gems in my collection while I was going through everything that I completely forgot I had. So if you'd like me to do a separate video on that sort of thing, like I suppose it's a shop my stash video where I show you the products that I found that I've sort of rediscovered for myself, then do let me know and I can do that as well. But for today, the stuff that I'm throwing away, oh, and before I do that as well, one good thing that definitely has come out of it is I found the pump for my NARS Sheer Glow. If you saw my Vlogmas, why couldn't I think of the word for Vlogmas? I was really annoyed because I started to use the NARS Sheer Glow, gave you a bit of a first impression, couldn't find the pump, found that now, little update. Right, as for foundations, I didn't need to get rid of any of those. I have been gradually whittling down my collection anyway. I've only got about 4 I think now. All of them are my colour, all of them are in date, and all of them I use. So them I didn't have to get rid of any. Primers though I did. The first one I'm chucking away is this one. It's a L'Oreal Nude Magique Blur Cream. It was hailed as kind of a dupe for the Benefit one, you know the one I mean. What's it called? Professional. I really didn't find it was. It comes out in this really weird texture. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but look at that texture it comes out like. That reminds me of, and I saw Lauren Curtis do a video and say the exact same thing. It reminds me of fish poo the way it comes out. It's not a bad product. It's nowhere near as blurring and colour controlling as the Professional though, so I just really haven't used it much. It had a 12-month expiry date on, and although I don't take them as gospel, I do take those expiry dates a little pinch of salt. I've had it well, I think I've had it nearly 2 years, so that is going. I hate to sound like I'm being wasteful, but you know, perhaps that should be one of my New Year's resolutions with makeup, to not buy as much so that I don't end up wasting any. Anyway, swiftly moving on. The other primer I'm getting rid of is this. It's actually an eye primer. It's the I Heart Makeup eye primer. I got it as a gift with purchase. It's Makeup Revolution. And I just love my Urban Decay one so much that this has just been stuck in my drawer, gathering dust. It's all separated out. So it's just no good to anybody anymore, and that is going. 2 concealers are going. One is the Rimmel Wake Me Up concealer. As much as I absolutely love the Wake Me Up foundation, the concealer just didn't do it for me. It's not terrible. I still used it. I've probably got about 3/4 of the way through it, but I've got so many other concealers that I prefer that I just know I'm not going to end up using any more of this now. So that is going. Can't really give it away to anyone else either. That's not very hygienic. Another thing that is going is, not that you would know it again, because concealers seem to be the thing where the packaging rubs off. This is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. Really, really popular. Lots of people love it. I have to say, I didn't love it as much as I felt I should compared to all the hype. It's not bad for under your eyes. I don't think it's that great at blemishes. It hasn't got enough coverage for me, and it doesn't last very long. I've got it in the shade 15 as well, and Maybelline seems to be renowned in its concealers for having a poor selection of shades. I think there's only 3 shades, and they're all quite similar to each other. 2 are quite yellowy, one's quite pink, but they're all sort of in the mid-range colour. None are very light, none are very dark. Anyway, get rid of that one. I just know I'm not going to be using that like the Rimmel one. There's too many others in my collection that I go for every time. Powders, didn't need to get rid of any. I'm nearly out of my e.l.f. high definition powder, but I love it, so I'm not going to just throw it away because I'm nearly done with it. I'll finish that up, and then I've got a few others I want to start. But bronzers, there was one I'm getting rid of, and it's the Hoola Benefit. I've got a little sample of it. I've got this much left, and I just seem to be trying to scrape around the edges and not getting any product out anymore. So it's a product I love, but I just don't think I'm going to get that use out of that last little bit. I've got another one that I can open up though, so I'm going to get rid of this one. It's probably been on the go for about a year anyway, so probably about time that I did get rid of it anyway. Lip liners, I was keeping them all. I haven't really got many anyway. Lipsticks and lip glosses I struggled to part with. I looked through them all, and as much as I've got quite a lot, in my opinion anyway, pretty much all of them I thought, no, I'm going to still wear that, and I do still wear that. But there were just a couple, well, there's a couple of balms and one lipstick. This one I've had for maybe a year and a half. I don't mind keeping lipsticks for a long time. I don't think, because I don't use each one of them so often, I think, you know, hygiene wise it's okay. That's how I think about it anyway. Anyway, getting to the point, this is a PS Love lipstick. It's one of their pink colours. It is a lovely colour. It's definitely my sort of thing. Ignore the primer next to it. I do love my bright pink colours, but I've got so many others that I wear much more often. I don't think I've even reached for this ever since I made a video on it way back, one of my first ever videos on this channel. So with that in mind, I thought, what's the point in still having it in there? I'm going to get rid of that one. And the two lip balms I'm getting rid of are from Barry M. They're the Core Balmy Lip Balms. Their version of the Maybelline Baby Lips, where you get a little bit of colour and a balm as well. This one's nearly gone. It's the pink coloured one. Gorgeous, it smells like sweets, but I've got so many lip balms on the go that these ones just end up at the bottom of my bag, at the bottom of my drawer, and not getting used. They're not bad, they're just not brilliant, so it means I'm not reaching for them all the time. And the other one I've got of that I don't like so much. As you can see, I've hardly used any of that. It doesn't smell, all of them smell like sweets, but these are a sweet I can't put my finger on. It doesn't smell as nice as the pink one, and the colour of it is slightly dodgy. It's kind of an orangey red, and because of the balmness to it, it can make it look a bit like you've just got something around your mouth rather than got a bold colour on. So that's the reason I'm getting rid of those two. Few eye products. Wow, I feel like I'm whizzing through these, but I'm conscious that I've got a lot, so I don't want this to go on for too long. So eyebrows, first of all. This is the Rimmel, the Rimmel Professional Eyebrow Pencil. It's a pretty standard pencil. It's got a brush on the end, and it's one that you can sharpen. It's not a bad product, but the colour is all wrong for me. It's too warm for my eyebrow colour, so I'm just not using it. So I guess I could give this to someone else. Can't think of anyone off the top of my head that I know that would probably use it, but perhaps I'll have to think about that before I actually throw that one out, because it's not something that I couldn't share. Another eyebrow product. I was just thinking that this was my Soap and Glory eyeliner, and I do not want to get rid of that. This is their Archery brow pencil. There's two. There's the other Archery one, which is thinner. Love it. Will not get rid of that, and I will repurchase it when it runs out. This is the one with the thicker barrel to it. Thicker product on this end, which is the crayon, and it's got a brush product on the other end. The other one's got a spoolie on one end and a pencil on the other. That one's good. This one I just am not a fan of. You have to press really, really, really hard with this crayon to get any colour out. So as much as it looks decent now, it's that one there, I've had to press really hard to get that. When that's on your face, on your eyebrows, it actually is a little bit uncomfortable. And as you can see, it's a bit cooler than the Rimmel one, but it's still not quite the colour for me. It's not dark enough. The pencil on the other side, or the pen on the other side, isn't bad, but again, very, very light. I'm giving this like 20 or 30 swipes to get any pigment out of it. And the colour of it is different to the crayon, which doesn't make sense to me, because surely you would want them to be the same colour or similar at least. So it's just not something that I've used very much. I did a review of it on my blog. I loved the other two products within the review, or like the first impressions that I did. This one not so much, and it stayed the same. So getting rid of that one. And I used this just the other day in my 1960s makeup tutorial. It's a Makeup Revolution liquid liner, a little barrel or a little pot with the nib. But as I was using it, I noticed that it's really, really started to dry out. I think it's because I haven't used it very often, and it's just sat around for a little while. Got quite a few liquid eyeliners on the go, so one that's dried out I'm just not going to get any use out of, so I've decided to chuck that away. Blushes are my one big love, so I looked through them all and I thought, do you know what, I'm definitely going to use that. I've started to do my makeup rotation weekly, as I mentioned in my blog post about my 10 achievable tasks, so the ones that even I'm using less, I'm going to start to get use out of. Having said that, there was one that stood out to me as one that I'm probably just not going to use, and it is the Bourjois, one of their Bourjois blushes, and this is the one in Golden Rose. As much as it's a pretty colour, I don't find that it is as pigmented as it used to be. When I first got it, I complained that you hardly got any pigment when you rubbed it on your finger. I've had to rub really hard to get anything there. But on a brush it was coming out a lot more pigmented, which I could never understand. As time's gone on, it has dried out. I just don't really get any colour on it on my brush when I pick it up. So unfortunately it's just not been one of those products that's lasted very well for me, and it's going. And finally, this is a product that I raved about when I first got it, and I haven't fallen out of love with it whatsoever, but I am having to get rid of it. It is the Makeup Academy Undress Your Skin highlighter in pink or rose pink. There's two of them basically. There's a goldy one, there's a pinky one. It's gorgeous. You do have to use a lot of applications on your brush, but for a highlighter I don't think that's bad because it means that you can build it up gradually. But the packaging has broken, which means that wherever I keep it, it keeps falling off, which means it's drying out, which means it's getting dirty as well, which isn't very nice. So as much as I love it as a product, I've just not picked it up, I wouldn't say, in the last 6 months because of all those things, especially the packaging breaking. So I decided to get rid of it. In theory, I would buy it again. I have got a lot of other highlighters now by comparison. Like when I've got this, I think this was the only one I had. So I've got quite a few others now, so I definitely wouldn't buy it again anytime soon. But if you can be more careful with the packaging than it's definitely a highlighter I recommend because it's only about £3. Wow, that is everything. Did I even stop for breath? I'm not sure. Hopefully I did that at a speed where you can actually hear what I was saying and pay attention and get a look at the products as well. So I thought it might just be nice for you to see what I'm getting rid of, why, what I liked about it, what I don't like about it. I find these interesting myself to watch these sorts of videos, probably because I'm so nosy. So I'm hoping that you've felt the same way about my version of this video. As I said, let me know if you want to see a little video on all the products that I've discovered going through my stash. Give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for weekly videos and I'll see you next time. Bye!